How's it going? I thought I'd take y'all to the river today. Hadn't been down here in a while. And as you can tell, it's still early fall. But I wanted to take y'all down here, and by the way, it's been raining most of the weekend, so the river might be a little bit muddy. It's not as clear as it usually is. It's not horrible, but it's not as clear as it usually is. This is a brand new access that they just added about a year or two ago. I'm not real sure. As you can tell, it's way too shallow for a boat access. It's more for canoes. There are let's see, 1, 2, yeah, 2 more bridges downstream in this county. There's actually, I guess, 3 more, but one of them is not in our county. So you could put in here and take out at one of those other accesses. So it gives the locals here something to do a little canoeing. And it is a fairly easy canoe or float trip. Not a whole lot of, I mean, this is probably about as rough as it really gets. And it's not very rough at all, except for trying to go around this bridge. You got to lay down flat in your canoe and, you know, shoot through. No, I'm just kidding. Most people just get out and go around it, which is what you have to do on several of the bridges around here. They're all low water bridges. As you can see, we get some big trees and root wads when we have floods that wash up. Those were actually on the other side of the bridge at one time. And we have to come down with a saw and a chain and other heavy equipment if need be and get them out of there. Get them off the bridge, or get them, you know, if they dam up against the bridge, then pressure builds up on that bridge, and that bridge there is old. And you don't want to lose it. It's already in, you know, like I said, it's old. It's in bad shape. It can't handle big loads, and it can't handle a lot of pressure. As you can see, right in there, I don't know if you can tell it or not. If I think of it here in a minute, I'll get a little better look at it. But there's some wild, I call it bamboo. It's not really bamboo. It's cane that a lot of folks make cane poles, fishing poles out of. But I'd like to have some growing there on the farm. But the problem with that is, I'm pretty sure it has to be fairly wet for cane to grow. So I don't think it would ever take off. That's what I'm trying to say. Just don't think so. Well, I guess I could turn it around. As you can see, this old bridge, it's not the greatest shape in the world. You can see these old patch jobs. It's hard to keep patches on something that, you know, gets underwater quite often. But yeah, these old root wads off of this great big old tree here were on this side. And of course we moved them to the down river side, so if the water gets up high again, well, it'll just wash it on down. This, by the way, is not only a great place to put in for canoeing, it's also a great swimming hole. Not necessarily right here, but I'll show you here shortly. I'm gonna put my foot on there, give y'all an idea. Look how big that tree is. That's a big old tree. It's also a fairly decent place to fish. However, with it being a really good swimming hole, as you can imagine, it gets fished out quite a bit. All these beautiful, beautiful rock formations, as you could see a while ago when I was up on the cliffs. I've had people call those cliffs a lot of different things, and all of them have something to do with like Lover's Leap, or I think there's probably a Lover's Leap everywhere. Somewhere in some county, some town, there's always a Lover's Leap. And as you can see, this tree here needs to be put on the other side of the bridge as well, but at least it's trying to get out of the water here, you know what I mean? It's not going to build up pressure here. I remember when I was first running a motor grader in this area, I had to come down that hill and come across this bridge on that motor grader. I'm telling you, half of the tire hangs off that side and half of the tire hangs off that side. And even though the water's not very deep there, and even if you was to have, if you were to fall into the water, you're not going to drown. You're going to be able to drive your motor grader out of there. It'll still pucker you up. In the hot summertime, you'll see children all playing right in here, and they like to get on their little rafts and shoot the flute. They like to shoot the flute through there. Boy, if the master gardener was here, she would be having a time. She loves rock hunting. She loves rock hunting. And they also call it, I think they call it mudlarking over in the UK, where they walk the river's edge and find stuff. Ain't that kind of neat? Now see, I would call that creek coral or river coral, basically a freshwater coral. Kim likes to find those rocks that have a hole that goes all the way through them. She calls them a hagstone. If you look through the hole, supposedly that's where the fairies live. That's what my granddaughter says anyway. And I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. But you can take lawn chairs and sit out here and just soak it right there. You can just soak it. The water's usually pretty nice, not real cold, not real hot. And as you can see, we also have seashells here. Not because we're close to the sea, by no means. These are freshwater mussel shells. Usually, the more mussel shells you have in the water, the clearer and cleaner your water will be. Did you know that? Because they are Mother Nature's water filters. That one's kind of different. Does that one go all the way through? Nope. Thought I had a hagstone, but I didn't. She's better at finding that stuff than I am. There's also sand here, which is kind of crazy, I know, because my end of the county is nothing but this stuff, rocks. But the further south you go in the county, you get sand. And we do get some fairly decent sized mussels. That could be a hag mussel. It's got a hole in it. Ain't that pretty cool? Fish. I I don't even know if I've mentioned it, but this is the Strawberry River. And I know I'm going to miss some of it, but the main fish that people fish for out of here are catfish. There are a lot of what I call brownies, smallmouth bass, or brown bass. A lot of people call them that. Of course, there's, you know, perch and warmouth and all kinds of fish like that, but mainly most people fish Strawberry for catfish. As we're coming up around here, by the way, this back in here is where the main swimming hole is. Now, don't get me wrong. This is a fun place to be if you've got lawn chairs, to just sit out here, drink a nice cold beverage, let the water run over you. And this big gravel / sandbar here forms here because the river makes a bend right up above us, and all the gravel and sand gets washed up into this eddy. And as far as I know, this gravel / sandbar has been here ever since I was a little bitty feller. Because when I was a little bitty feller, my family used to come here and we would camp and fish and swim, and we'd even take a bar of soap and take baths. Absolutely. We didn't have internets. We had to, you know, find stuff on our own to occupy our time. And this river looks about like this year round. Even though I said it did rain recently all weekend, we only got a couple inches of rain. And this river goes up and goes down. It goes down just about as fast as it goes up. And this is about normal for the level of the river. It might be, I don't know, it might be, you know, a couple inches higher than usually is. But this is about what it usually looks like on a normal day. Except there's usually, you know, 15 or 20 people out here in the middle of the day. In the summertime, a lot of kids, younger children, spend their time down here with their mamas and daddies and babysitters, and they have them a ball down here. And this is public, by the way. Of course, I guess you could tell that from the public access. And a lot of times, you will come here and there will be people camped here at night. You don't have very good cell phone service here, I will warn you of that. And as you can see here, as down there was more of a rocky base, and as you're coming this way, which is south, by the way, the more south you go, the sandier the bottom gets. As a matter of fact, I'm not going to be able to get there, but just around the bend here is another bar, not quite as big as this, half the size of this gravel bar, but it's solid sand just around the bend. I seen it from the cliff I was on. but I see no way to get there. There used to be no, it was over there. There used to be a big swing in a tree over there that you could swing out. But that's been a year ago too. I'm sure things have happened to it since then. But I can remember playing right here in this side of the gravel when I was a youngster, as my mom and dad and grandma and grandpa and cousins and aunts and uncles, we all played right here in this water. Had us a time. And I've even brought my kids here. I can remember right out here seeing my dad and his dad and my uncles with bars of soap out there taking them a bath in the river. It was a different time back then. Not that you couldn't do it now, but you sure don't see it much anymore. Somebody would probably call and report you if they saw you taking a bath out there now. Isn't it peaceful and beautiful though? Now you can't really tell it, but way up there is where I was at on the cliffs earlier. And so yeah, this is a public access here on Strawberry River. You can see where people drive down in here. Now I don't recommend driving down in here. This stuff is, I mean, unless you've got a pretty good vehicle, you'll get stuck down in here pretty easy if your vehicle's very heavy at all. But this is the public access on Strawberry River, one of them, off of Hewlett Road. This thing's got all kinds of names, but I think most people just call it the Hewlett swimming hole. I'm not sure, but it is a heck of a pile of gravel here, that's for sure. Well, I hope you enjoyed your trip down here. I'm sweating like crazy. It is hot. It's not really that hot outside. It's just really, really humid. I think we're supposed to get more rain this afternoon. As I'm walking, I'm still looking for a hagstone to take home to my granddaughter. Oh, no luck. I don't have those special eyes. But I had a little bit of time today, and I wanted to just stop off, and I hadn't been here in a while. See how things have changed. And it has. I think it's changed for the better. I've seen this place when it was pretty run down, and now it's actually pretty nice. They've got the new canoe launch. I wouldn't call it a boat ramp, but it's a canoe launch. And they've cleaned up the area to where you've got plenty more parking. So yeah, it's pretty nice. They've cleaned up a lot of the trash. It's pretty slick. Pretty slick here. We almost had a blooper reel. That would have been something. Well, I'm fixing to go grab a bite of lunch. I hope y'all enjoyed it, because I enjoyed taking you. I'll give you a shot of this mud hole here. To see they've come down, and when I say they, They've made it to where you got your parking spots now. They've cleaned a lot of this up. And when I say they, it was the Arkansas Game and Fish that did a lot of the work here. Let y'all read that. I'm gonna go. I gotta get back in that air conditioner. I'm still spoiled rotten.